Hey everybody, and welcome to another model building workshop. I'm Mr. Allen. I'm here in my workshop in Providence, and we're doing this for the Providence Community Library and the Smith Hill Library in Providence, Rhode Island. So, we were building this oddity, the Polikarpov I-185 that came in this bubble pack here for a whole whopping $1 that I picked this up at a show a number of years ago, not too long ago. 1/72nd scale, made in Russia. Guess the company's called Mother Russia. Anyway, let me show you how it's progressing. It's pretty much done here. For better or for worse. So, it had some problems. And we'll go over some of those. The wheels and the landing gear could have fit in a little bit better. Because the landing gear doors are a bit too long for the landing gear legs, at least the way I put them on there. There might have been a better way of doing this, so I had to extend the wheels a little bit to make that fit. The glass could be better. It's not terrible. The biggest problem, well, there's two. One is there's no engine. So you have to paint it black like I did to imply that there's an engine in that cowling. And from a distance, it tends to work, but from a distance only. The landing light was supposed to be over here. It just did not fit in that spot no matter what I did, and so I just tried to fill it in the best I could and maybe do some touch-ups to that still. I don't know how much more I'm going to do to this kit because I think this might be as good as it's going to get. The decals, I did use the kit decals on the underside. And they weren't terrible, but the big problem with the decals is that, as you can see, there's two more supposed to be on this plane. And they were too big to fit in these places. They did not fit at all on there. So I had to go dig through my spares and come up with some other Russian stars to put on there. I think these actually look better than what was supposed to go on there. The original ones did not have the white border around them. So who knows what the plane really looked like during World War II, if it had a white border or not. But anyway, I think it looks better this way. And from a distance, it's not a too bad of a looking aircraft. But as a model kit, this is it's rough. It lacks a lot to be desired. And I don't know if I mentioned the story in the last episode or not, but I'm thinking this time where I was a teen and I was on a family vacation to Cape Cod with my parents, and you're there for a week, but there's always, like every vacation, no matter where you go, you always have one day which is going to rain all day. So, to cut the story short, in case I said this before, because I don't remember now. It's been a while since I filmed the last episode, so because we've had the holidays and everything. So, anyway, during the rainy day, we found a hobby shop in Cape Cod. I found a model to build and built that in the hotel room because, it was miserable out. Of course, we did use the indoor pool, but other than that, I worked on a model. So this is the kind of model kit that would suffice if you were reined in on a holiday and you needed something to work on. You could get by with that. I don't know if that's an endorsement. Because it kept me busy. I did enjoy working on it because I do like the challenge of trying to turn something that's not so great into something presentable. I don't know how far along I got with this, if it really does the job or not. Have you have a better look at it. It had a lot of issues. I mean, this takes a lot of sanding, a lot of sculpting, a lot of putty. And again, the lack of an engine is kind of ridiculous. So you tell me if the paint is convincing or not. And again, the landing gear legs, that problem, which I got to keep working on a bit. But anyhow, here's the I-185. So the I-185, just a recap on what that was. It was an experimental Russian fighter from the Polikarpov line of fighter planes. And this was used in one squadron experimentally to see how they performed. They were basically used in a defensive role over Russian territory because they didn't want them flying into German or Axis-controlled territory and then risk being captured. So anyhow, that's how that one operated. So let's have a quick look at some other Polikarpov aircraft, and got some models over here of some other types. And I'm going to consult, the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Combat Aircraft of World War II. This is a Bill Gunston book, and I do tend to like Bill Gunston. I've got another one of his books. Not sure the date on this one. Let's find out. This is one of those books that's been in my collection for eons. So this goes back to, 1978. I don't think I've had it that long. I doubt I've had it that long, but still, it's been in my possession for quite a while. So let's look at some of the other. Come on, S for Soviet Union. Here we go, we're getting into it. So I've got 3 of the models of Polikarpov aircraft here. So one, I've got the Polikarpov 153. I believe this was a Heller kit. The biplane here. I've got the I-16, which is probably a more famous one, this little tiny Rata fighter. I believe that's might have been a Revell kit. Probably should have researched that before I went on and started filming this. I think that's what that is. And then I've got the Po-2, which is this biplane, and I'm pretty sure this is a KP kit from the now it's the Czech Republic, but Czechoslovakia. I think this is one of those communist kits, basically, that I found in the early 80s. I think that's been in my collection. Actually, the 3 of these have been in my collection for a while. I built these, I don't know, college maybe, high school, college. Here's the I-16, which is a more famous, probably the most famous of the line of fighters and aircraft. So let's see. What was interesting is that that the 153 here biplane actually came out in production after the I-16, which is a monoplane fighter, all metal. You would think that the monoplane fighter would have come after the biplane, but since this had some issues with maneuverability, they tried one more attempt at a biplane fighter, which was this one, which was very maneuverable, but again, limited in the fact it was a biplane. These both fought for quite a while in World War II, in the first half anyway. The I-16, I'll show you here. Doing time in the Spanish Civil War with the Republican side. Some were captured by the Nationalists as well. So the I-16 came about. First flew in December of 1933. And the final delivery was in early 1942. So, as you saw in the pictures earlier, it was used by China, the Soviet Union, and the Republican forces of Spain. And here's one here that's captured. The cross on the X on the back is from the Nationalist forces of that period, of the Spanish Civil War. Back up a bit to the 153. Yeah, it was pretty, a retractable undercarriage on it. Could carry some bombs and things. Very let's see, first delivered in 1933, and the service delivery was in 1939, so which would have been just at the start of the Second World War. So I believe this is the Heller kit, and you're going to notice I tried cleaning this up because this had been around for a while, and the decals started to crumble as I began cleaning this up. This is the old Heller kit. I believe it's a Heller kit. This was a lot of fun to build back in the day. It's been in my collection for, like I said, for quite a while. It does have, you can see, it does have holes in it, so you could do the rigging. But I think, like I said, I think I built that as a teen. I just wasn't up for trying to do the rigging because I'm not the best at that. So now that I cleaned it, tried to clean this up, and the decals are peeling off. I'm going to have to get some more decals for that. I mean, I could just throw that away, I guess, because I've had it forever. It's not owing me anything. But all it really needs is some new decals. So if I can find some, I might be able to clean that up with a little effort to keep it around a little bit longer, I suppose. Again, the I-16, which is a really tiny fighter. I have a hard time picturing this thing going up against a 109. But these were, you know, pretty much a standard fighter at the beginning of World War II in 1941 for the Russians. And I know these took on the Japanese in the Namenhan, if I'm pronouncing it right, incident over in Manchuria, Mongolia area. So there's the 16. And then let's get to this one here, which is, I think, fascinating. This plane, it's got some interesting history. This is the Po-2, or is also known as the U-2. And this was built in the late 20s and continued to be produced until 1959. And this is one of the most mass-produced aircraft in the history of aircraft. Something like 30,000 or whatever of these things were made from the 20s on, like I said, through the 50s. And I think they used even operational use in training units into the 70s. So this is a very simple, it was used as a training plane, and as you can see, light ground attack plane and reconnaissance. So it did a number of different tasks. Like I said, this is a KP model that I built a while back. You know, it takes a lot of patience working with struts, and knowing KP, it took a little bit extra work to well, make it fit right, because it's a KP models are fun to build, but they do take extra effort, you know, because the molds are a little. So one of the claims to fame of this aircraft, get closer here so you can see it, was that during World War II, the Russians had a squadron, I believe it was a 588, I'm not sure, I think that's what I said. In fact, I'm going to be able to look that up. Let's see if I can get that info, which I just had. Yeah, still, let's see. Yeah, 30,000 of these things were built between 28 and 59. The production figures are, yeah, for trainers between 20,000 and 30,000. And, all right, I can't find that squadron here, but anyway, this one was the one used by the female pilots that were known as the Night Witches, that harassed the Germans by raiding deep behind the German lines and causing confusion by dropping bombs and just being an overall terror to the German troops. And this was, like I said, piloted by a all-woman squadron. So that was something these are known for as well. And I think there's a book that's been recently released by some of those, teaching some of those accounts of some of those women pilots. So that's the Po-2. And that's a quick look at the Polikarpov line of aircraft. So I don't know if I'd give that a thumbs up or thumbs down. I guess it depends on what you like for a challenge, but there is the I-185 in all its glory. Anyway, Thanks for watching, and hope you had a good new year, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Okay, bye.